Here we go. We wind them up. Ready to go. 30 laps. The Winston Racing Series Modifieds on a roll, and here they come, and here's Russ.
All right, Raleigh, thank you very much. The stars of the Winston Racing Series Modified exit turn 4 under the green flag of Chris Hopkins. We're underway. It is car number 8, Bob Mercier, to lead the charge, but we're in trouble already as the O'Donnell car makes hard contact with the front stretch wall, and it appears as though the Fred Peckham machine is in trouble in the infield as well. So a couple of cars involved right up front. We have another one that is in the cloud of dust down there. It could be the 54 car. That we believe is Phil Tizzo's machine.
And it looked like Rick Bennett in the 83 also went diving into the pit area. So we'll do it all over again.
So off to a less than auspicious start for the Winston.
All right, here we go. We are just about ready for the start of this one. Chris Hopkins looks them over carefully. Here they come, and the pace picks up. Bob Mercier sets the pace for the field and has the lead at the line. The veteran in car number 8 from infield is the man setting the pace right now, but John Anderson is closing in quickly in car 15. Scott Poirier rubs the backstretch wall as he came out of turn 2. Hopefully everything's all right with that car as they work their way to the start-finish line.
It is Bill Bob Mercier out in front with car number 8. Leading the charge, Mercier, longtime competitor, not only with the open-wheel modified, but a drag car operator-driver as well. John Anderson, recently back behind the wheel of a Winston Racing Series Modified, runs in the second spot with car number 15, a former Ted Christopher mount. Then it is Dennis Gaeta. Here comes Shawanski. Steve Shawanski with the Mystique Motorsports, car number 57 down low, and suddenly Anderson blasts out in front from the outside groove. And John Anderson out of Billdale becomes the second leader of this event. Following suit is Gaeta and Shawanski as Mercier begins to fade on the inside with car number 8 ball.
Mike Paquette also moving up out of the pack now to move to the inside groove and challenge Poirier for that number 4 spot. Off the turn, it's still Anderson at the line, and a good battle between Gaeta and Shawanski now going on. Mike Paquette down low, moves up into the number 4 position. Ted Christopher, already well out of the pack, is running 5th in car 13, and Ted really on a roll.
5 laps up of the Winston Racing Series scoreboard this time by. Many of the heavy hitters headed to the front. Bo Gunning and Mike Christopher also marching towards the front of this pack. Still a long, long way to go. Bobby the Snake Georgitis running very well in the 86, as is Kurt Brainerd in the 96. But back to the front. We have John Anderson, car number 15, setting the pace, followed by Gaeta, Shawanski, Marquette, and Christopher. That's how they run, pretty much single file. Top 5 cars beginning to pull away from the rest of the pack as they head down the backstretch one more time. Through 3 and 4. Anderson, with his hands full, he looks in the mirror and he just sees 4 other cars just breathing right down his header pipe. Anderson. Gaeta. Here comes a challenge from Christopher. He makes a little underneath the number 1 of Paquette, and Teddy puts the 13 up into position 4. Roger Rondo has gone around with car number 4 here in the front straightaway, and we will
top dog. He has to set the pace. John Anderson in car 15. Here he comes, and he leads the way to the line, and we've got our green flag one more time.
Underway we are, and the green flag. Anderson is there, but suddenly Steve Shawanski becomes a major player in this one. He slides the 57 into the second position. Christopher tries to take full advantage, pulls up alongside of the 5 of Gaeta. Christopher challenges for third. Gaeta is up on the high groove, and Paquette still sits there with car number 1. We've got a spin. It appears to be the Bert Marvin car, or it may in fact be the Brian Cipriani car. Down into the infield. It is, however, out of harm's way. In fact, I believe it's both of those cars, the 07 and the 36. Cipriani has refired his, but Marvin has not. Now,
look at Shawanski, Russ. Here he comes on the outside for his challenge. But Anderson shuts the door on him. That enables Ted Christopher to move into that open low groove and move up on the inside of Steve Shawanski. All right, here they come off turn 4. Who will it be? It's Anderson at the line, and Ted Christopher now has taken the number 2 spot. Look at the battle go on, and it's a doozy for that number 2 spot. 2 hard chargers going at it, hammer and tongue. Christopher still holding a slight edge over Shawanski. To the line, it's still Anderson. Now Christopher gets a little bit of breathing room, and immediately he sets sail for our leader. Frank Cardiel moves into the dust and dirt of the infield, and now moves away. Okay, here they come. To the line, it is still Anderson. Ted Christopher, the man, right behind him. Lap traffic, but it doesn't present any problem for the top 4 cars as they move around Cipriani. 13 laps now complete. 17 remain in this one. Steve Shawanski still holding that 3rd spot with Dennis Gaeta in 4th. Mike Paquette running 5th. And off turn 4 they come, and once again it is Anderson leading away. Shawanski closing in on Ted Christopher, however. And so we may have a tussle for the number 2 spot.
Dropped down to Steve. And now he goes to the outside of Anderson. Christopher making a charge for a second halfway there, and he's on the outside. Shawanski's down on the inside. Anderson stands right on him. Look at this. Well, Preston going to turn number 1.
15 down and 15 to go as they're side by side out of turn 2. Great action here in the Winston Racing Series modified feature. Steve Shawanski also closing in now as Ted Christopher ekes his way ahead of John Anderson. Off the turn they come. And Anderson still hanging tough, but Ted Christopher with a slight lead. Now Christopher gets out clearly in front, and Shawanski got a little bit high, lost a little bit of ground to Anderson. Dennis Gaeta has also closed in to make it a 4-way battle. Heading for the line, it's still Ted Christopher, winner of 4 of the last 8 features.
Anderson not giving up. This is Christopher's old car. Oh, we got somebody going around. Looks like Bo Gunning's gone around coming out of turn number 2. Bo was involved in a spectacular crash here a few weeks ago. It's fully recovered, but maybe it's a loss of concentration. Maybe he got tapped.
13 laps to go in this one, and it's going to be a shootout, no question. Here we go. Good start. We're underway. Can Anderson hang with Ted Christopher? Now he tucks in behind Teddy as Ted leads the way into turn 1. And here comes Shawanski, holding on to his number 3 position over Gaeta and putting the pressure on Anderson. Paquette still runs in 5th place. Mike Christopher now running in 6th.
Shawanski makes it to the inside. It's the wheel underneath Anderson. But Anderson pops right down and closes the door. He knows Shawanski's there, and now he moves up even closer to Christopher. So those 3 cars start to edge out just a bit from the rest of the field. Gaeta, number 5, about 3 car lengths back. Behind him, Paquette.
Some good action back in the pack between Kurt Brainerd and Bo Gunning and Bob Georgitis. They're jostling around. Gunning just had to back off a little bit as Brainerd got a bit sideways in turn 2. And that battle, I'm sure, will resume. Meanwhile, up front, it's still 1, 2, 3. Christopher, Anderson, and Shawanski once again. Shawanski to the low groove. No, sir, no room there again.
Paquette now tries to make a move on Gaeta, the number 1 car against the number 5 car. They have got their own race going for 4th through 6th position. Paquette with the low groove trying to make the move. Gaeta leads right down on these are open wheel cars. You can't get that close. Right behind them, Mike Christopher, number 82, moving up the challenge also.
Good action now for that number 4 spot, and Paquette now has taken it over. And here comes Mike Christopher down under Dennis Gaeta. A battle now for the 5th position. A little bit of contact between the two. Frank Wainwright to the infield out of the abandoned car 44. Once again, we pick right up with that battle between Christopher and Gaeta. Way up into the marbles goes Kurt Brainerd, and he loses a position.
He came together with both guns and they touched wheels. They went up to the wall. Gaeta now on the outside of Mike Christopher. Gaeta leans right down. Mike not giving up any territory at all and moves in the 4th spot. Paquette trying to gain ground on the leaders. Ted Christopher, number 13, on rails once again. John Anderson, number 15 car, only on the second. Shawatsky's jumping up and down, trying to find a way around. He dropped down on the inside, going into turn number 1. Anderson once again slid.
Ray Gagnon spins into the infield in car 26. He appears to be out of harm's way. As they cross the line, we'll have just 5 laps to go. 5 to go as Ted Christopher continues to set the pace. Shawatsky now feels the pressure from Mike Paquette in car 1.
Paquette, who was back quite a ways, is right up with the leader.
Now he tries the outside. No luck there, so he drops back in line. Meanwhile, we're down to 4 laps left in this one. As we come out of turn 2, that battle for second is still on 1. Meanwhile, the rest of the field has pretty well spread out. So keep your eye on that battle for second at the moment. That's the one. John Anderson falling off the wayside a little bit behind Christopher, our leader. And Shawatsky still right there on Anderson's back bumper. Paquette now has dropped off the pace in the number 1 machine. And Mike Christopher is closing in on him. Off the turn they will come, and as they cross the line, it's just 2 laps to go. Off the turn, it's still Teddy leading the way, and he's going to be in a pretty good position when he takes the white flag. Here they come, heading for the line. 1 to go for Ted. John Anderson, Steve Shawatsky, Mike Paquette, Mike Christopher following in that order. The final circuit. Here they come, final circuit around Bob Mercier. And out of turn 4, and once again it's Ted Christopher for the victory. John Anderson takes second, Steve Shawatsky third, Mike Paquette fourth, and we've got a spin over in turn number 4. Across the line, and there it is, Ted Christopher taking down his 5th win in the last 9 weeks. Talk about a hot driver.
Route. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Winston Modifieds number 13, Ted Christopher. There's a atypical Christopher smile. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Winston Modifieds number 13, Ted Christopher. Replenish a little bit of that liquid. That was a good drive. You didn't. That wasn't a cakewalk. Anderson really gave you a fight. What was it about that moving up on him that held you back so many laps? Because usually you just go right to the front.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I was just really feeling John out, see how he was going, and he was really loose off, so I was really biding my time. I figured I might have been able to get underneath him, but he gave me the outside that 1 turn there, and that was all I needed.
Shawatsky was also dialed in. That's basically a new car for him, and to come out the first time, he must have had it really dialed in. But you took care of both of those guys.
Yeah, well, this is pretty much a new car too. We blew the motor in that 1 race last time we were here, ruined the body and a lot of the pieces on the car. So I got to really hand it to my crew, and really Eddie Askew spent a lot of time putting that car back together to just the way it was when we first brought it here in the middle of the season.
Well, as we're getting down near the end of the season, the points race is getting pretty close. You keep doing this, and you're going to wind up with the championship. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't know. I really like winning. If I can keep coming here and win, then what plays into hand will play, We missed some races, like I said before. I went with my Busch car, so may have been a little turnaround, but we'll see what happens at the end. There's a lot of races left.
What about the difference between driving the two cars? Do you enjoy this one more than the other one?
As far as the Busch car?
As far as driving the Busch car.
Yeah, I like the Busch car. It's just the motor blew last time and I don't have enough money to put it back together. But we have a modified tour ride deal coming together for hopefully the 300. And I'd like to really thank Brad for helping us tonight. We changed the car around before the feature and it really made the difference of winning or losing today.
We know you started out on go-karts. Somebody said this car is like a go-kart on steroids. Is that a close description?
Yeah, it is. The go-karts were a lot faster, probably sensation-wise than this was, and than this is, But the go-kart's so much smaller, you really see your parameter real good. With this, you don't. You always got to look at your back, and it's a lot wider and everything.
Well, once again, congratulations on a great ride, ladies and gentlemen. Winston Modified winner, Ted Chris.